Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks so much for coming by today. So today's video, we're just gonna do another little tag. Yeah, another tag. I'm trying to catch up on the tags that I've been tagged in. So bear with me as I do that. But this is the Love in Books tag. This was created by Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. What a fun channel name. And I was tagged by Secrets Read. So thank you for tagging me. She's a lovely channel. I will link them both below, of course. You can check them out. And let's get on with this tag. It's all about, love, kind of different kind of love relationships in books. So number one is Friendship Love, a book that includes a loving friendship. And I kind of thought about it for a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I would love to have friends like the girls of Paper Girls. They go through a lot through the course of this graphic novel series, but they really are good friends and they look out for each other. And they may have some ups and downs, but at the end of the day, they really, do care about each other as they're, making their way through time and space and everything in between to figure out what in the world is going on. So I absolutely love this. I really love this graphic novel series, and all the colors are just so good. I'll leave it on the spine. And so this is Paper Girls, and wonderful friendship set in the 80s. Very nostalgic in that way. Paper Girls. Okay, number two, A Sibling Love. Name a book that features a strong sibling relationship. I had a few things pop in my head, but I had recently read Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and there's three sisters that make up the Brown family, and I love them. And they are very supportive of each other, particularly in this book where Chloe, because she does have a what's the word I'm looking for? She has fibromyalgia and deals with sort of chronic pain issues, but her family is very supportive without being like overly so, you know what I mean? They can't let her live her life, but they're also very supportive when she's maybe trying to fall in love, and they want her to get out and have fun. So I just love the other sisters. I really need to get into those other books to read the other sisters. One's Eve Brown and Danny Brown, I think is the Danny. Yeah, I need to get back into those sisterly tales because they were a lot of fun. Okay, number three, Parental or Guardian Love, a book with, a loving parental or guardian type of relationship. And again, a book I kind of recently read, so it was fresh in my mind. It was Swan Song. And then here we follow one of the characters in here is named John. He's like this ex-wrestler guy, but he ends up kind of being a guardian for Swan, who at the beginning of the book is just a young girl. Whoop, my notebook fell. It's just a young girl, and they're both kind of making their way through the wastelands of the nuclear apocalypse that is just, taking the world over and blowing everything all to hell. So he very much takes care of Swan, and for the span of this entire book, which does span many years, and definitely takes care of her. And it was a very loving kind of guardianship type of relationship that they had, of course, by the end of the book. So, yeah, John and Swan in Swan Song by Robert McCammon. All right. Number four, Pet Love. A book that features a loyal pet or an animal companion. And I think about this one too, but I thought, you know what? How about The True Bastards by Jonathan French? This is part one of a trilogy, and this is a really fun fantasy story that features this ragtag group of like half orcs that live kind of on the outskirts of this land, and they are kind of this bridge between like the hoity-toity haves, rich people of the human world, and the, darker, more violent side of the world of the orcs, because they're half human, half orcs, right? And but they have these animals that I guess they're kind of more like these big boars that they ride. Kind of like horses and things, but they're very connected with their animal, and it's very much a part of their society and everything about them. They go out patrolling and fighting and all that kind of stuff, and their animals are very much, like I said, very much a part of their sort of greater family of their community, and a very big part of this book. And you get connected to their animal, the animals in here just as much as you do the characters. So, and one of them dies, you get sad. So, this is a really fun series. It's nothing like too crazy serious as part of a fantasy, but it's a heck of a lot of fun and has some pretty interesting characters. And so this one was a lot of fun, and there's some cool big boar in it. I mean, what's not to love? All right, number 5, Romantic Love, a book with a swoon-worthy romantic plotline. My mind immediately went to Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I read this last year before maybe. I loved it. The romance is definitely swoon-worthy because it really leads into sort of the fantasy that a lot of us have about of a celebrity, right? So our main character is a cosplayer, and she gets noticed kind of online as in this really awesome cosplay of one of her favorite characters of a show that's kind of like a fantasy show, kind of like Game of Thrones, right? And she gets noticed by the one like hunky actor of the show, and they kind of get trapped up into going out on this date together as social media. And the other thing is kind of weird because, of course, our female is a plus size woman, even though she looks gorgeous. So there's some things going on here, right? And they get together. They have a little date together. That's kind of all kind of staged, and there's photographs and things. But maybe they do make an actual connection, and the story goes from there. It's so sweet, and it definitely swoon worthy. Yes. And the plus size representation in there was really great, and also the male lead, we find out, does have, I think it was dyslexia, and I thought that was handled really well. So it's a lovely little romance story. It has some saucy bits too. Okay, number 9. Number 6, Erotic Love. Name a book that doesn't fade to black when things get spicy. Just another excuse for me to bring up The Never King by Nikki Sang-Froy because your girl loves this dark Peter Pan retelling. She really needs book 4. I want to stress every time that I mention this book, though, it is very dark, and but oh my god, it's so good. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Okay, number 7, Self-Love, a book that includes the theme of self-love. Like appreciating your own worth, finding yourself, self-acceptance, all that kind of good stuff. And I had to think about this one for a little bit because I read a lot of dark books. People aren't always kind to themselves. But how about old Abatha and Slewfoot? She really goes through a journey in here, a journey of self-discovery, finding her inner magic, connecting with her powers, and causing a little hell along the way. And I love this book. So it was kind of a folk witchy book, in which she is sort of this kind of a mail order bride to this man who is part of a real Puritan community in like the 1600s. I forget the time period now. It maybe doesn't really matter. During the Puritan time period here in the U.S., it doesn't say. Maybe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, but she is not from a Puritan type of world, so this is definitely, she sticks out like a sore thumb. But again, she finds her way, finds her place, finds her inner strength and her inner magic. And it's a gorgeous book, and I love it. It's a wonderful story. So yeah, Slewfoot. Okay, number 8 is just share the love. So tag some folks. I will tag Goddess of Gore. I bet Fix has some good answers for this one. And anyone else who would like to do this one. It's a really fun little tag to think about, some loving things. So thanks for watching. That's going to do it for me today. And I always appreciate your time. You know that I do. And until next time, bye.